Hi guys, welcome back for another one. It's another Friday, it's another hot take, it's another dev blog, and I am here with my good friend PauloP13.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, they have announced Moondragon as the next character to be released in this upcoming patch as part of the Infinity Watch, yes, which has been rumored. We kind of expected this one to be announced along with the partner in crime, which I'm going to double check her name right now, which is Farmable, and I cut out the entire mishap. Anyways, so let's once again, guys, we don't do full kits here on this show. We are going to talk about some highlights to this kit and overall get Paulo's, what he takes away from all this. So first off, this is a support character, Cosmic Skill, a great skill character. Actually, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm going to ask you about Doom Raids with this character, what your initial thoughts are. Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No problem.
So anyways, before I give any of my opinion or anything, what in this kit stood out to you the most?
It's unique. It's fun. She has two 30% max health heals that both do different things. Honestly, I really enjoy this kit. One of the things with the rest of the Infinity Watch team we've seen so far is a lot of their kit kind of felt cookie cutter to me. Like, this is what we're doing for this team. Everyone has this.
Yeah.
And I was expecting that, but they did not do the same exact stuff for her kit. Like, for instance, she does not have the guaranteed revive on this kit, which is a nice change of pace in a weird way.
Yeah.
But I think I really like her charge mechanic. I really enjoy that. I like the way that her ultimate's going to work. I like the way her basic's going to work when charged. I think that's a really cool like, honestly, I know this isn't like saying like strategic information, but I do just enjoy it. I think it's unique and well thought, in my opinion.
You know what's funny? Hold on. So we read this kit before we started recording, and I'm just now picking up the language of this on the basic. It says apply sys now to one random insert character name ally. Why would it say random and then unannounced character?
Yeah, I was mentioning this while we were talking a bit,
Maybe
but
it went over my head.
I think you were reading something else at the time. I was like, why would you say one random specific character ally?
Yeah.
What, instead of just one specific character ally? I think what's happening is in this situation, maybe on enemy waves, if there's multiple of that character and one of Moondragon, only one will assist.
Yeah.
But also, maybe if you decide to pair Moondragon with Mr. Sinister and you end up with another unannounced character, it means that it's going to be one randomly. It's not a specific one. A lot of the wording we've been getting has been very unnecessarily verbose, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just too many words. So I think it's just a bit of that.
All right. So I hit at the beginning here, and I want to ask your opinion on this. So she's a skilled character. Skilled characters, at least for me, outside Kestrel, are still a little hit and miss when it comes to Doom Raids. And I noticed on her kit, besides her passive, there's not a whole lot of Affinity Watch. Like, you need Affinity Watch for this stuff to work. Even the healing is just allies. It's not Infinity Watch allies. So I know we don't have a lot of stats on her, so obviously, this is all speculation, nothing concrete. Please don't take this and run with it. But your initial thoughts, does this look like possibly Doom Raid viable character?
What I will say is I agree. I do think this character is one of the ones that's going to stand out the most outside of Infinity Watch. Again, initial reactions here.
Yeah.
We need to know stats and we need to see some gameplay for any of this to be true. But I think there is definitely potential. If this character has some speed, even the special being like turn one, like reducing speed bar is pretty great. 50% reduction, applying slow for 2 turns. That can take someone kind of out of the fight. Healing all allies, giving defense up and deflects. High focus chance, clearing all positive effects from all enemies. That is pretty great. Primary target is a protector with immunity. Flip it. The special is a great start. That basic can do a ton of damage in Doom Raid because you can get the enemies to attack themselves too.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Like, the ultimate is a heal and then putting defense down. Again, don't know her focus, and this doesn't have a focus boost. So potentially this could be a pretty good Doom Raid character. Yes.
All right. So before we move on out of this, we got to talk about the other two Infinity Watch allies that were announced earlier this week in a dev blog. I wasn't around for this, so I've kind of really missed the bucket and given an opinion on this. It's Gamora and Nebula. Obviously, the kit, especially Gamora's kit, looks good on paper. But what are your initial thoughts when it comes to those two?
The one thing I've been looking at, the stats matter. I know that they both got stat boosts, and Gamora's look pretty substantial.
Yeah.
But if you really crunch the numbers, Nebula's stat boosts are horrendous, for the record.
Yeah.
Her stats are not great. You take them out of the Infinity Watch team, there might be some issues, especially Nebula. I know everyone's like, well, you can possibly use her in DD4. I don't see that happening because her basic does look great,
Yeah.
first off, but it doesn't do much if she's dead. She's not going to have a ton of health if she's not on the Infinity Watch team. She doesn't have a ton of armor. If there's any unavoidable attacks, the ultimate's not going to keep her alive. And if you're trying to use the basic, you're not getting the evade anyway, so there's some issues in there.
Yeah.
I think for the team, they are quite good, but there's some things that you need to look at to really see how they're going to work outside of the team. Another point, I've actually been reaching out to people. We do not know how Nebula's assists and counters are going to work. So if her assist does do the 10% of primary target's max health damage thing, that's pretty great, and you can definitely use that for some creative things and some ISO choices here and there. But if it doesn't, that's also going to be like a massive difference. So we need more information on these characters.
Yeah.
But there's good stuff to like here, and there's stuff that we want to hear a little more on.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like when they talk about assists is that they don't really give us the information of what happens on the assist. Is there just base damage? Is there some kind of status effect, clearing of status effects? Like, they don't really give us that information, like, to know like how good an assist is actually going to be.
Yeah, I reached out to some people, and the actual response I got, like I reached out to I think 6-7 people.
Yeah.
I heard back like, what do we know about Nebula's assists and counters? Do we know anything about how they're going to work? Nope, nothing. Haven't heard a thing. No answers on that yet. Nada. Literally nothing.
Wow.
Your guess is as good as mine. Those were the answers I was getting.
Wow.
So not super sure how that's going to be, but again, that's another impact to consider. I think again, as this team is shaping up, this team is getting better and better.
Yeah.
But I still want to see a little bit more about how they work solo to really give answers on that.
Okay.
I know I already answered this about Doomraid, but just thinking about it a little more, Moondragon for skill, she may be the fill-in for a certain Red Guardian at this point. She basically does the defense up and deflect and such that Red Guardian does, but does more health and that heal. Her cooldowns are pretty high, so we'll have to see about energy and speed, but
Yeah.
it might be a good route to go for that.
Okay. Let's move on to how she's actually been released, because they did announce that in the dev blog. She's going to be a release character just like in the past. I think last year we had Negasonic, and the year before that we had America Chavez. Kind of the same breakdown here of how we released to this event. To get her, there's going to be various events. She's going to be a big event. There's going to be orbs. There's going to be different game modes where you can collect shards, milestone events, and they're all listed here. And I'm not going to go through each one of these. Now, some of these are for costumes. If you guys don't know, we're also getting an Iceman costume. So FYI, I'm not going to go too much detail with that. But I can tell you guys right now, if you are a free-to-play player and you've been playing this game for, probably consider yourself a mid-game player, majority of players should land themselves a 4-star Moondragon during this event, assuming you're an active player. If you're not an active player, you're going to be a little bit of a risk, but this event is pretty friendly for you to get 4 stars. They usually are really good. I have to give them credit. They're usually really bad at math, scopely. But when it comes to these events, they are really good at doing math to make sure everyone's stuck at a 4-star. You can push as hard as you want, but if you don't spend, you're stuck at a 4-star. So kudos to them for, doing at least one thing mathematically right. But what are your events on this? What do you remember with this event from last year?
Yeah, it's a lot about participation, which is good, because when you do things based on your participation, it doesn't necessarily matter how big, how long you've been playing, and how strong you are. The one thing is, a lot of it's going to require a specific trait which is going to be a new trait Quirky, which is like an event trait, and we don't know which characters are there. So if they only have late game characters, then that just kind of undoes everything I just said about you don't necessarily need to be a late game player to do well for this.
Yeah.
But it rewards people being active and contributing. But then it comes to another issue that we've been noticing a lot in the game. A lot of recent decisions have put a massive strain on alliance leaders and alliance members that have torn apart a lot of alliances. I'm hearing about a lot of alliance leaders actually just quitting because they don't feel like dealing with this anymore.
Yeah.
And one of these is like it's going to be raids, and I think it said there was
I'm going to highlight
probably around an alliance here.
Yeah, I highlighted on my screen. It's the Marvelous Allies milestone. I mean, you were talking about that before we came on.
Yeah.
Unite your alliance in raids using quirky trait characters to earn points towards a milestone that rewards Moondragon shards, Unity Orb fragments, and more. So, yeah. You go ahead.
Just remember, they have to be ISO level 5 if you're doing Doom Raid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough situation. It really is. I don't, going back into the alliance leaders, let's talk about, I was going to wait till the end, but let's talk about it now since you brought it up. The ISO level 5 requirements for Doom Raids. I've been hearing rumblings the last couple of days that they are not going to walk this back. There is no mention in his dev blog, so it seems like they're going to be sticking to their guns. Have you heard anything different? Because I'm hearing that they're not walking it back.
I'm hearing that they're definitely not walking it back at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be doing anything long term with this, but they did say if something's happening, it's going to be a long discussion.
Yeah.
Like, if it's happening, anything, we're going to probably have an entire patch where we have to deal with this anyways. And then I think they're just going to hope that we calm down.
Yeah.
I think that's what their plan is.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. Don't mean to self-promote here, but I did a bit of a video talking about why I think the decision was so bad and so hurtful for a lot of the player base.
All right.
But yeah, I think the issue to me is they shouldn't be giving you content, letting you play certain content, and then changing the requirements to enter the content.
Yeah.
If they want to make it harder, but they can't just say, all right, you're doing this raid, now you're not, now you're getting less rewards. 2 months in the future, you're doing worse than you were before. I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
It just feels like not only moving goalposts, but they're literally giving you backwards progression, and that is just a big kick to the face. But I don't think they're changing it, so
Yeah.
I guess put in a mouth guard and get ready to get kicked in the face.
Yeah. So if you guys would like to check out that video from PauloP13, now's a good time as any to plug it. The links to his channel will be down in the description down below. Go check it out. Give him a follow, sub. That's Twitch. Sub for YouTube. I always get those backwards anymore. I don't know why.
I mean, if you want to sub on Twitch, you can. I mean,
yes, sub on Twitch. If you're what is that? Was it a Prime member? Is that a Prime member for Twitch?
Twitch Prime, Amazon Prime, it's free.
It's free for you. But yeah. So, anyways, go check that video out from Paulo P13. So yeah, you pretty much hit it on the thing. Like me, like I know. So here's the two sides of the coin. Like I overall, like I totally disagree with the direction they're going. But I look at my situation personally myself. And I don't know what my team looks like. I was never one to really throw my ISOs into characters. I had a ton of ISOs built up and ions built up.
Right.
So when they announced this requirement, it was like, okay, this is the new direction. Let me break my roster down. Let me grab my Doom Raid characters and let me start throwing level 5 on them. And I was able to level 5 every single character except for a handful of controllers and support characters. So I'm currently farming controllers and support only ISOs to try to complete those so I can, hopefully solo lanes for my alliance. But some people, especially those that really love the war game mode, right? They're just plugging the ISOs into their war characters. As soon as they got them, they spent them. And they're in... These are end game players, right? They're in terrible shape. That's the problem, And I know I had this conversation with somebody in my alliance, and I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. They're telling me I did it wrong because I never invested my ISOs, and they didn't do anything. And it's just like... That's why I saved it. I save it for content because I know this game. I've been playing it for 2 years. Save your crap for content. You get through all the content, save your stuff.
Yeah, it's true. It is true, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If you really liked your arena team and your arena team is not all the same trait.
Yeah.
Well, tough luck. If you really wanted to counter a specific team, you wanted to help out your alliance, well, now you're hurting the alliance because you used your ISO on a war counter. Like,
Yeah.
it feels bad.
Yeah,
It
it
just feels
does.
bad.
Yeah. Like I said, like I said, at this point, I mean, it is what it is. And if they don't walk it back, if the players that decide that, you know what, it's just a part of the game, part of doing business, I'll still play I'm still going to play, you know, I'm not going to leave or anything. I'm not going to spend money on a ISO because I'm sure in the hell not going to give them the satisfaction of that.
No, just don't.
So, anyways, let's move on from that. Let's get on to character availability, which this one surprised me. I was expecting a announcement of Shatterstar, and instead, we got the announcement of Longshot going to the War Store, and for the first time, they are actually listening to us. I can't say it's the first time. I'm being a little sarcastic there, but they are removing they are removing a character from the War Store to replace in Longshot, so it doesn't actually decrease the amount of odds of a character showing up. Your thoughts on Longshot being added, and also the thoughts on them actually removing a character for once.
I loved reading that they're removing a character. I'm also really happy that it's the character I have often referred to as the worst character in the entire game, a Ravager Bruiser. What is he doing in such an important store? Good, gone, perfect. Yeah. Also, Merc Sniper apparently still in the War Store. I literally just found out that Nebula wasn't farmable for almost a year. That's how much we've cared about Nebula since that happened.
Yeah, I think it was like November, or maybe it was like, no, maybe it was early fall last year.
I think it was like last August, because I made like a beginner's guide to the game of the farming the entire thing, and then 3 days later they announced all of the node changes.
Yeah.
Just to mess it up, and I know I did that back in August because I was in Sicily, so I think that's roughly when it happened.
Okay.
But I didn't notice. What is my thought on Longshot coming? I'm happy because that it's Longshot over Shatterstar personally, because I don't know how, but I have a 6-star Shatterstar. I have a 4-star Longshot. So I can it's going to be unfortunate having to use my war credits on this because I was just using them to save up for some pieces that I needed for Doom for tier 15.
Yeah.
But I'll take it to get Longshot ready and farmed up so that I can get Adam Warlock. So that's nice. War Store, a little slow, a little painful, a lot of characters that you kind of need from there, and a lot of gear. There's so much good stuff in the War Store that you kind of need, and it's just like, oh, good, another one, and you're kind of just running out.
Yeah.
Not pleasant, but at least it's a character I need, and that they're being made farmable in some fashion.
Yeah, it's just another example of the scarcity in the War Store. Because like,
yeah,
I don't want to get into that too much because that's going to go down a rabbit hole if I get into it. But the War Store to me, it's like the entire war mechanic to me. It's all about it doesn't really give you a ton of resources to help you grow your count, but what is there is rare. That's the catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Longshot being added, that's good. Still, the problem with this, I guess the problem that I don't know if it's a problem, but a problem for the player base is that the one character that's going to prevent majority of players that are actually capable of getting Adam Warlock on the first pass is going to be Polaris, and I feel like Polaris is going to be held out until the last minute if she even comes at all, right before Adam Warlock. Your thoughts on Polaris? Because I know that's going to be the bottleneck character.
Right. I think that's the one they're planning to be the bottleneck.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think mathematically. I haven't actually bothered to do the math yet.
Yeah.
But between the two strike passes, if you bought premium on both, I'm not sure how far away you're going to be.
You'll be 200. So it's 100. You'd be 20. You'd be 110 shards short of a 5-star.
Even if you buy both of the passes.
Yes.
The first and the second.
Yep. You'll be 110.
Okay, so then you still need 100 shards, and I'm not sure where you're getting those. A blitz? Is that going to be enough? Not really. Maybe 2 blitzes, but I don't think they're going to give us 2 blitzes.
No.
So I think maybe that and the 1 blitz, and that's all they're going to do. Which that's if you bought it, that puts you in a position where you can do it. But the issue is, they keep doing this, and I keep saying this is bad. Stop doing this, because it's going to hurt them in their chances of making money, because they're trying to get like panic spending.
Yeah. Stop
giving us stuff after we could have bought them or done things. Literally, people that didn't buy that thing would have bought it if they knew.
Yeah.
People would have pushed harder in certain blitzes in the past and maybe spent power cores, like if they knew when that was happening. Stop telling us after our chances of recruiting these characters that you'd really need it for this event.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
I'm not saying that you need to spend money on this, but as a player, you don't need to be spending money. That's not what I'm trying to tell you here. I'm trying to tell the company, if anyone from the company is listening, look, you're literally costing yourselves money by just not telling us before these events.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you really do this, this is a good time to do it. Like, you're gonna sucker us out of money, and you're not even trying. Like, you're hurting yourselves, man.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next topic, which is economy updates. We kind of got a hint at this was coming. So we're getting a 60% reduction in cost in the store and the raid store for basically the purple pieces, either those Catalyst or Origin gear and ABCs. So that's good. I'm going to go through all this and then I'm going to get your opinion on it. Orange gear, they're going to give us a slot now for unique gear pieces, which I'm hoping that's 13s.
Yeah, that's 13.
Good. I'm glad. Next is full gear parts. Fully crafted is going to the fully crafted pieces that were for power cores is going to go away, which that should have happened a long time ago. I don't know who spends their power cores on that stuff. And they're just going to give us more gear pieces, so that's great. And then the Catalyst of Change. This is to me is a really great change, considering how often the Catalyst of Change, happens 3 times a week. The now armor, damage, focus, health, and resistance is now going to be rewarded in all tiers, which is great because you need thousands of these, and most people will be bottlenecked on at least 2 to 4 of these resources if they constantly rank up characters. The other one you probably wouldn't get bottlenecked is armor because most characters you take up for Dark Dimension don't really require a whole lot of armor catalyst. So overall, what's your takeaways?
All right, I'll make it quick. I've been going long on a lot of these. Cheaper purple gear. Good.
Yeah.
Full gear parts getting rid of. Never bought it anyways. Could have just added an extra row if people did want to waste power cores. Cool, but they didn't. Fine. More purchasable gear pieces. More chances to get good stuff. Nice. It doesn't say what color. Probably going to be purple. Going to be honest here.
Yeah.
Good. Catalyst of Change, making it guaranteed for all. Good. Them not saying that it's going to be the same total amount and we're going to be getting more resources, less good.
Yeah.
Is there a chance we're going to get less armor damage, focus, health, and resistance than before? Perhaps. Hopefully not.
I hope not.
Issue. Orange gear uniques being in their dedicated slot. Good. Only at level 65 and above. I understand, but it doesn't really let people plan for the future as much.
Yeah.
But they need to do more for the orange gear. It's not enough.
Yeah,
I think that's my thoughts.
So going back to the Catalyst change there, because you brought up a good point. I didn't think about it until you said it. Or the reduced amounts. Now there's already a chance that it's random. Like you either can get 8 or 16 of one of those catalyst parts. So I wonder if they'll hard set it at 8 or if they'll still let it random between 8 and 16 or even lower it even more than that. So I think you brought up a good point there. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm personally thinking they're gonna with the number that you get roughly, like let's say it's 30, they're probably going to keep it at 30, but just split it evenly. That's what my guess is.
All right. So next up is repeating legendary event. This is announcing Magneto. However, I did realize they did advertise this wrong. It says lead your top team of mutants and X-Men into battle. It's not mutants, it's Brotherhood there, Scopely. So you cannot take your X Factor or X Force to unlock Magneto. Just prepare yourself now. But you can use another legendary character to unlock Magneto, and that is Jubilee. And that's probably the character that I've gotten the most messages and DMs about is Jubilee. When is Jubilee coming? So I fully expect next week to get an announcement about Jubilee. Overall, Magneto, Jubilee. How's that, on your end?
How is that on my end?
Yeah, but
Magneto, 7 stars.
Yeah, so a lot of people have Magneto. This is not a legendary I require. I really say, don't beeline for this character anymore.
No,
Get him.
Not anymore.
There's a lot of Brotherhood. There's a lot of X-Men in the game. He's a very easy character to unlock naturally. Anyways, upcoming blitzes. So it looks like all month long they're going to try to focus on LGBTQ blitzes, even though I'm pretty sure Paulo's going to point this one out here shortly. So Monday through Wednesday, we're getting America Chavez, which once again was one of these characters that were in this event 2 years ago. And then we're getting the return of Colleen Wing. So overall, thoughts on these blitzes? I know you had some thoughts before we started recording.
Right. Here, my thoughts were inconsistency. They're not being consistent. I'm literally looking this up right as I speak, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything, because there is a chance that I missed something. Okay, according to my Googles, this is how I'm going to base it off of. All right.
Yeah.
If Google is wrong, be mad at Google. They're not my favorite characters, anyways. But we already know that Colleen Wing and Misty Knight are going to be blitzes, and then they said all of the blitzes are going to be the LGBTQ plus character blitzes. But if you Google them, it goes to any article, it does not mention anything about either Colleen Wing or Misty Knight being a representation of this.
Yeah.
Actually refers to them being in normal, stable relationships with male characters. So, which one is it? I could be mistaken. If I'm mistaken, feel free to let me know. I may read it in the comments. I probably won't, but you never know. I just think a lot of this feels like they had two thoughts and they kind of put it together and hoped you didn't notice they didn't fit.
Yeah. So let's talk about Colleen Wing real quick before we move on to the end here. Me personally, I'll be unlocking her here on the second pass. Have you unlocked her already, or are you getting her on the second?
I have the shards to unlock her. I just haven't spent the gold, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have a lot I've been spending on, and I'm saving up. And honestly, it's a good team.
Yeah.
But it's a boring team. It really just is.
Yeah.
I already get, on average, 16, 17 defensive victories per war.
Whoa.
So
that's great.
Okay, on average, probably 13. But it sounds better. So I don't really need to be rushing for yet another defense team.
Yeah.
For me to have unused teams at this point. I have other things I'm working on.
Yeah.
So right now I just need the gold because, well, I'm about to be unlocking Doom soon. Then I'm going to be going Doom and Kestrel to tier 15. That takes gold. So
yeah.
Colleen, you're going to have to chill, and then Misty in a bit, you're going to have to just chill. It's just maybe I'll recruit you guys, put you in the bottom, put you on a blitz team with Kestrel. But
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, yeah. So, me personally, I'm not going to build up Heroes for Hire until I have both of them. So, we'll see where I'm at in 2 weeks.
Right.
All right. So, end this bonus flash events. You're going to get double drop on your X-Force characters if you decide to farm them. Remember, 2 times 0 is still 0. I don't know why. I feel like the odds get worse when they're double drop rates. And then on June 4th, Chaos of Change event. Once again, I don't know what they're doing with these events because that usually was the spot for Chaos Theory. And still no word if they're going to increase the rewards. As something they did say back in their response to all of our concerns about the game. So flash events, anything take away?
X-Force gets you Doc Ock. Doc Ock is good.
Yeah.
But you still need one from the war store, and that's not doubled, and that's the one you're probably short on. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
Does it actually say the catalyst, the change event? Okay, it says the need a hand.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say anything about the extras or anything.
Yeah.
Bonus events are good.
Yeah. I was pretty sure, back when they responded to us, they said they probably said they were looking at it. They didn't say they were actually going to do it. But I'm assuming at this point they're not actually going to do anything with this event. They're going to keep it as is. So they don't force people to build up hand characters, which is not a bad thing.
Well, now you can use Electra as Shadowlands.
Yeah, we got one. You at least have to rank up Nobu or Hand Assassin to get Phoenix. So at least there's 2 out of the way. Yeah, there's still.
Do we still need to?
6. Well, unless you're using Doom, yes.
Oh, right. Doom is the other one. Yeah, just do Doom first. It's fine.
Don't get Phoenix right away. Just get Doom first, then use Doom to unlock Phoenix.
Work your way back. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, guys. So that is the end of the dev blog. Anything else you'd like to add before we go, Paulo?
Honestly, no. I've said a lot about a lot of things. Thank you a ton for having me. I really did have fun. In a bit of a joking mood, apparently, but thank you again for having me.
Hey, no problem. Always good to have a good time. But anyways, guys, that will do it for us. PauloP13, I don't think he's going to be able to join me next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's correct. All right, guys. So once again, if you want to check out Paulo P13, the link to his Twitch and YouTube will be down below. So guys, if you enjoyed this, do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't done that already, hit that subscribe button. And if you do not want to miss our next hot take, which we have one every week, hit that notification bell. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.